The president tries to sell the plan. His budget director gave some new details on how it'll be paid for. Apparently, the Obama administration wants to raise some taxes. The wealthy and some businesses would be primarily impacted. During his speech last week, the president also called on Capitol Hill and a so-called super committee to find additional ways to trim the fat and to find other ways to pay for that plan. ABC 15's Susan Casper sat down with Senator Jon Kyl, one of the members of that select bipartisan group.
We've been spending beyond our means, and we've got to stop that.
Senator Jon Kyl fears our nation's ballooning budget is about to burst, just as President Barack Obama rolls out an ambitious $447 billion jobs plan.
The American Jobs Act will not add to the deficit, it will be paid for. And here's how.
Senator Kyl began scratching his eye last week when President Obama was laying out his proposal to Congress to get Americans back to work. Kyl is serving on a joint select committee of Congress, hammering out a recommendation to trim the budget $1.5 trillion over 10 years. He said that's the easy part.
To go much beyond $1.5 trillion would probably require some pretty major compromise by both sides in terms of their basic philosophies.
Now, President Obama is charging the so-called super committee to slice the budget even further to cover the full cost of his American Jobs Act.
The next election is 14 months away. And the people who sent us here, the people who hired us to work for them, they don't have the luxury of waiting 14 months.
Well, the American people have a right to be not only frustrated, but frankly angry, because their representatives in Washington have let them down.
President Obama is taking his jobs plan to the people. Over the next 2 days, he plans to visit Ohio and North Carolina to rally the public to pressure lawmakers to pass it. Susan Casper, ABC 15 News.